Greetings, today is Thursday, August 14, 2025. This is meteorologist Ruben Garcia. At the time of recording this video, it is 5:30 in the afternoon, local time in the northeastern Caribbean, where we continue closely monitoring the evolution and movement of Tropical Storm Erin. In this afternoon's video, I will be talking about the 5 p.m. advisory. We will also discuss how there has been a slight adjustment in the track, shifting a bit more to the west and south, and whether this represents any change in the forecast for the indirect effects expected across Puerto Rico and the northern Lesser Antilles. I would also like to mention that in the 5 p.m. advisory, a tropical storm watch has been issued for some of the islands in the northern Lesser Antilles. The National Hurricane Center indicates that this watch could be extended to the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico tonight or on Friday morning. Tropical Storm Erin strengthened during the morning hours today and currently has maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour. As the center of circulation begins to move over warmer sea surface temperatures, we have seen intense areas of convection develop near the circulation center. Despite this, the structure of Tropical Storm Erin has had some issues with wind shear affecting the system from the east. However, wind shear is expected to decrease during the next 12 hours, opening the opportunity for the storm to begin strengthening at a faster rate, and it is still forecast to strengthen into a major hurricane when it passes at its closest point to the northeast Caribbean. In addition, a Hurricane Hunter aircraft departed from the island of Barbados and should be arriving within the next hour and a half, providing very important information on the structure of the circulation. This data will also help define with greater accuracy its future movement and intensity. If we switch the animation to visible satellite, we can see the rotation and circulation of Tropical Storm Erin. The center of circulation is located approximately in this area. This means the strongest convection and thunderstorms remain to the south and southwest of the center, suggesting that some wind shear is affecting the circulation from the east and northeast. While this wind shear is affecting the tropical storm, it is important that we remain attentive to any change in the circulation structure in case this results in changes to the track. At least the good news is that in the latest advisory, we already see a more west-northwest component, just as forecast, and also the model consensus continues projecting a west-northwest movement during the next 2 to 3 days. We are very confident that the center of circulation will remain north of the Lesser Antilles and Puerto Rico but pass close enough for some indirect effects and perhaps some tropical storm conditions to be felt this weekend. This is precisely why a tropical storm watch has been issued for some of the Lesser Antilles islands. In the medium and long term, projections show the cyclone continuing with a west-northwest movement, although uncertainty remains in about 5 to 7 days, specifically regarding how close it could get to the Bahamas and the eastern United States. The highest probabilities are that it will move over open waters of the Atlantic and pass between Bermuda and the east coast of the United States. On the other hand, intensity projections have not changed much. During the next 12 hours, gradual intensification is expected, but by Friday afternoon it should be a Category 1 hurricane and continue strengthening at least through Saturday and Sunday. The consensus is that it will be a Category 3 hurricane when located north and northeast of Puerto Rico. In fact, some models already show the possibility that it could even strengthen into a Category 4 hurricane. If we look at the latest official forecast from the National Hurricane Center, in yellow we can see the islands under a tropical storm watch, and we can see that the possible track has changed little compared to previous advisories. Overall, it is still forecast to pass about 175 to 225 miles north-northeast of the Lesser Antilles and Puerto Rico, eventually turning northwest and north, with the current cone of uncertainty keeping the Bahamas and Bermuda outside of it. So, with a bit of luck, future Hurricane Erin will maintain a track over the open waters of the Atlantic. However, residents of the eastern United States and the Bahamas should continue to monitor its evolution. Let's look at the latest global model projections. Starting with the European model in this afternoon's run, as in previous days, it remains consistent in showing future Hurricane Erin passing about 150 to 200 miles northeast of the Lesser Antilles, and, in the medium and long term, strengthening north of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, possibly reaching Category 3 or Category 4 between Monday and Tuesday of next week, as it moves over the warm waters of the southwestern Atlantic. We also have the German model projection, which shows the farthest west scenario, passing about 150 miles north of Puerto Rico during the early hours of Sunday, beginning a rapid intensification process as it approaches the Bahamas. This model projects it could be a Category 4 hurricane by Monday night. Then, in the long term, this model brings the circulation closer to the east coast of the United States. Meanwhile, if we look at the latest projection from the American model, we see that in recent runs, it has brought the cyclone closer to the northeast Caribbean, although it still passes about 175 to 200 miles northeast of Puerto Rico as it moves into the southwestern Atlantic, strengthening into a major hurricane. Overall, The ensemble members of the American model show a lot of agreement during the next 2 to 3 days, with the circulation passing about 175 to 200 miles northeast of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. But in the medium and long term, we see different scenarios, from a track toward Bermuda to others farther west affecting the Bahamas. So, uncertainty has increased considerably from day 6 and day 7 of the forecast. We see almost exactly the same in the ensemble projection of the European model, much agreement that it will maintain a track toward the Northeast Caribbean, but in the medium and long term, there is much uncertainty about exactly where what will very likely be a powerful and dangerous hurricane could head early next week. As we have discussed for several days, it is quite evident that conditions in the southwestern Atlantic will be very favorable for future Hurricane Erin to become a major hurricane, and we cannot rule out that it could even reach Category 4. Now let's talk a bit about the local effects that may be felt in the northern Lesser Antilles and Puerto Rico. Starting with the wind gust forecast from the American model, in orange we can see tropical storm force gusts. In this case, the American model projects tropical storm force winds remaining over Atlantic waters without directly affecting the Lesser Antilles or Puerto Rico. However, there are other scenarios with a track a bit farther west, as shown by the European model, in this case passing about 175 miles northeast of Puerto Rico. At this distance, some outer bands could affect the local islands and bring some tropical storm conditions with rain bands that could be accompanied by wind gusts between 30 to 40 miles per hour from Saturday through Monday. In the worst-case scenario, shown by the German model, with a track passing about 100 miles north of the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, under this less likely scenario, wind gusts could range between 35 to 45 miles per hour affecting the region between Saturday and Sunday. In addition, in this scenario, it would get much closer to the Turks and Caicos Islands and the Bahamas. Again, at the moment, this is the least likely scenario. Regardless of whether it passes 100 or 200 miles northeast of the region, some outer bands may affect the Northeast Caribbean, and this is why the tropical storm watch has been issued, which could possibly be extended farther west tonight or tomorrow morning, since during Saturday night and early Sunday morning, some bands with heavy showers may affect the local region. At the moment, the American model projects between 2 to 3 inches of rain affecting the northern Lesser Antilles and Puerto Rico, with the heaviest rainfall and highest totals remaining over the open waters of the Atlantic. Meanwhile, the European model also projects between 2 to 4 inches in Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and the northern Lesser Antilles, with the highest totals also remaining over Atlantic waters. In addition to rain and wind, we have emphasized that marine conditions will be very dangerous this weekend from the northern half of the Lesser Antilles, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, the eastern and northeastern Dominican Republic, as well as the Turks and Caicos Islands and the Bahamas. This dangerous surf will affect the region starting Saturday and possibly extending through Monday or Tuesday. Therefore, it is important that swimmers do not enter Atlantic waters due to strong waves and very dangerous rip currents. Well, that's all for this forecast update. Today at around 8 p.m., I will be recording a live video to answer your questions. I will be broadcasting this on Facebook and YouTube. So, to make sure you don't miss this live coverage and the videos I will continue recording under this special coverage, I invite you to like this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell to receive notifications when I record new videos. With that, I say goodbye for now. I'll see you later, Liv. See you then.